This is Let's Talk Chattanooga Real Estate, the podcast where we cover home buying, home selling, home improvement tips and ideas, market trends and developments, and investing in real estate. If you own real estate in the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, or want to own real estate here, then you're in the right place. Let's Talk Chattanooga Real Estate is hosted by Blake Watson, a real estate agent and investor in Tennessee and Georgia.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Chattanooga Real Estate. I'm your host, Blake Watson with Epique Realty. I'm licensed in Tennessee and Georgia, and I'd love to help you with your next real estate sale or purchase. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest financial moves that most people make in their lifetime, and that is selling your home. Now, I get asked a lot, Blake, how do I sell fast? And how do I make sure that I'm not leaving money on the table? Well, that's what we're covering today. Real tips that work, backed by market data, personal experience, and industry insight. Whether you're planning to sell this spring or you're just getting your home ready, this episode is packed with value for you as you prepare to sell your home. And I have a list of tips today, and that's what I'm going to give you. Tip number 1 is to maximize your home's exposure with full coverage of the market. Now, let's unpack that a bit. Let's start with visibility. If buyers don't know that your house is for sale, well, they can't fall in love with it. And it sounds simple, but this is the number one thing to either win big or totally miss the mark. Research data from the 2023 Bright MLS study is very clear. Homes that were listed on the MLS, that's the multiple listing service, sold for over 17% more than those that were listed privately or on in-office lists known as pocket listings. And that translates to a potential gain of over $50,000 for the average seller who lists on the MLS in the Chattanooga area. That's just taking the Chattanooga median sale of $330,000, looking at if there were 17% of that was because it was listed on the MLS and not privately or in a pocket listing. Well, that's a huge difference. Now, again, that's the multiple listing service. We call it the MLS. It's the way that realtors share listings with other agents. And in Chattanooga, we have about 3,000 agents. So this alerts all of those agents to the sale of your property, and that's actually the most likely way that your house is going to be sold. And on top of that, the MLS listings feed into sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, and many, many more. They make sure your home is in front of the largest pool of buyers possible. Now, the best way to get the best offers and the highest price and move your house the quickest is to get your home in front of the most qualified buyers. And that's how we do that through the MLS. It's not just about selling, it's about selling smart. Now, tip number 2, and that is to work with a pro. And of course, I'm a professional realtor, so of course this is a good tip, but let me tell you why. Don't try to DIY your way through this process. There's a lot to it. A trusted, experienced real estate agent isn't just there to unlock the door and put up a for sale sign. We bring strategy, we bring connections, we bring data, we bring experience and advice. A realtor can guide you through the process, the paperwork, and the real estate contracts that are all needed for a smooth home sale. An agent will help you determine the best pricing, advice on repairs, on improvements, and create a marketing plan tailored to your home and your area of town. And let me be real with you, having your home professionally listed, staged, photographed, priced appropriately, and advertised widely can make the difference between sitting for 90 days on your house or selling it in 9 days. Now, I'm not making a claim that your house will sell in 9 days. It might, but I can tell you, with a professional helping you and guiding you, it is highly likely that it will sell much more quickly than if you are just trying to do it on your own. Now, here's tip number 3. Timing is important. Sell in the spring. Did you know that the best time to list your home on a national scale is spring? In fact, according to Zillow's research, homes listed in the first 2 weeks of June sell for about 2.3% more. That's from Zillow on a national scale. But last year here in Chattanooga, the 2 months with the highest median closed sale price were June and October, which means that those listings hit the market most likely in April and May. That was the ones that would have closed in June. And in August and September, those would have closed in October. So that gives you a seasonal feel for how pricing flows a little bit better, a little bit higher in the spring. Here's tip number 4. Flaunt the features that buyers want. Every home has something special. It may be a big backyard. Certainly a fenced backyard is valuable. It might be a cozy fireplace or an open concept kitchen. Whatever it is, here's the key. Buyers don't always see it unless you point it out. You want to point out features like an outdoor TV, a pizza oven, or even a bluestone patio. You can actually boost your sales price by thousands of dollars if you point out the benefits that your home provides. If you've got something that stands out, don't hide it. Highlight it in your listing description, your photos, your videos, and your marketing. Tip number 5, curb appeal still reigns supreme. That's very true. They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that's especially true when selling your home. Before buyers ever step inside, they're forming opinions from the street. I've even had buyers that we've pulled up to a house into the driveway, and they have said, you know what? We don't even need to go inside because we can tell now from the street that this house is not one that we want. So yes, opinions are formed from the street. Clean up the landscaping, remove trash cans and parked cars, repaint the front door, and we'll talk about colors here in just a moment. You can add fresh flowers, fresh landscaping, pressure wash the sidewalk, make it shine. This isn't about making it fancy. It's about making it look inviting and well-maintained. Tip number 6, create Instagram appeal. Now, you have to go beyond curb appeal. I told you that reigns supreme, and it does. But I call this Instagram appeal because your home has to appeal on screen. A buyer's first tour, the first time they see your house, happens online, on their phone, at work, or on the couch. Your listing photos have to stop the scroll. Make sure your agent is working with a professional photographer who knows how to showcase your home with the best angles, best lighting, and video tours are just as important as photos. A good walkthrough video showcases your home in a way that feels very interactive and interesting to a potential buyer. And a video can also draw attention on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and much more. Tip number 7, help buyers see themselves in the home. Now, here's a subtle but powerful tip. Remove personal photos and decor. When buyers see your wedding photos, the college logos, or your child's artwork, it reminds them that this isn't their home, it's yours. But if you neutralize the space just a bit, you're making room for their imagination. You're allowing them to see themselves in the space. You want them to walk through and think, this feels like home. Tip number 8, go neutral with paint. Paint is one of the cheapest upgrades you can make with the biggest return on investment. That's ROI. If you've got bold walls like bright reds or dark purples, well, it's time for a refresh. Choose light, neutral colors. Think warm grays, soft whites, or beige tones. These are the ones that make spaces feel bigger, brighter, and more flexible for the buyer's future plans. And I mentioned a moment ago about the front door. If you repaint the front door, now there may be a particular color that fits with your exterior decor, so maybe you need to go with that. But let me tell you, the number one color that helps sell houses is a black front door. So if you don't know what to do with the front door, paint it black. Tip number 9, do the smart upgrades. Now, you don't have to renovate the entire kitchen to sell well, but strategic updates can move the needle. Small touches like open shelving, painted brick, or window boxes, they can increase online engagement and drive more buyers to schedule a showing. The more attention your listing gets online, the more likely it is to sell quickly and for more money. Now we are up to number 10. Tip number 10, price it right from the start. Now, this one is huge. Maybe it should have been earlier on the list. Well, these aren't in specific order, but number 10, price it right. Pricing your home correctly is both an art and a science. Now, you can start by reviewing your Zillow Zestimate, which is simply a computer-generated estimate of your home's value. But don't stop there. Your agent will help fine-tune the number by comparing recent sales, current competition, market conditions, and buyer demand. All of those elements are regularly in flux, and they can even change once your home is listed and as you're going through the marketing process. Overpricing leads to your home sitting stale, and that's a red flag for buyers. You want to come out of the gate listed at a price that attracts the most potential buyers, yet doesn't leave money on the table. Your realtor can help you price it right. Tip number 11. Understand your local market. Every market is different. Every zip code is different. And really, every neighborhood is different. What's happening in Atlanta isn't happening in Chattanooga. And what's happening in St. Elmo isn't what's happening on Highway 58 or Ottawa or Signal Mountain. The local supply of homes, interest in a particular part of town or neighborhood, the schools, the jobs, the shopping, they all impact the sale of any particular home. You want to tap into data. Look at the average days on market, the price per square foot, and the buyer behavior. The more informed you are, the more confident you'll be when offers start rolling in. Your agent can provide data tailored to your zip code, your area, and can help you understand how it impacts the sale of your home. Tip number 12, do a pre-inspection. Now, this is next level preparation. A pre-inspection lets you find issues before the buyer does. And what I'm talking about here is actually going ahead and hiring a home inspector to go through your home and do a full home inspection report. Again, it gives you the option to fix problems in advance, disclose them up front, or price accordingly. Plus, it shows buyers that you're serious and transparent. You have nothing to hide. That builds trust, and trust sells homes. And I have had homes presented with a home inspection report right there on the kitchen counter with notes from the sellers explaining what they've repaired or how they were handling the issue. This goes a long way in giving buyers confidence in making an offer on your house. And now our next tip, number 13, be flexible with showings. I know it's inconvenient. Pets, kids, schedules. Life is busy. We all know that. But the more available your home is for showings, the more buyers will walk through the door. And guess what? Homes that are easy to see are more likely to receive offers quickly. So try to keep the home showing ready and allow for last-minute appointments when possible. I have a client that at the beginning of this year, they were interested in seeing a house and touring this particular home. Well, I contacted the listing agent to set up the tour of the home. The seller was not making the home available to view, and the listing agent really didn't even know how long it would be. We had to wait 10 days before we could make an appointment to go and look at the house. Needless to say, that didn't leave a good sense in the minds of my clients when they were looking at the house. They really were thinking, if it's this difficult to schedule a viewing of the house, how difficult will it be for us to work our way through the contract period, potentially some repairs? We don't want to experience that difficulty during the purchase process of that house. So they moved on. Now, here's tip number 14. This is the last one I'll have for today. Be willing to adjust if needed. And let's be honest, if you're not getting traffic, you're not getting showings, people are not looking at your house, well, it might be time to adjust. That could mean adjusting your price. It could mean refreshing your photos, even changing up your photos, or improving the listing description. It may mean doing a repair that's obviously needed. Whatever it is, don't wait too long. Listings that sit too long develop a stigma. As I mentioned, they become stale, and buyers start wondering what's wrong, or they assume it's overpriced. Stay nimble, work closely with your agent, and be open to change if needed, even after you've got your house on the market. Now, here's the good news. Well-priced homes still sell quickly. So doing your homework and working with an agent to strike the right price, develop a solid marketing plan, and staying on top of trends can go a long way to helping you connect with the right buyer. Remember, it actually only takes one buyer to buy your house. Now, if you're thinking about selling or you just want help figuring out your next move, I'm here to help. I'm Blake Watson with Epique Realty. You can give me a call or text me on my mobile phone. It's 423-315-1815, or visit my website at homechattanooga.com. That's at homechattanooga.com. And you can also connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm Blake Watson on both of those platforms, or on Instagram as Rock and Roll Blake. My brokerage phone number is 888-893-3537, and I'd love to help you make the most of your home sale. Please share this podcast with a friend, and until next time, keep dreaming, planning, and making moves in Chattanooga real estate.